Welcome back to the I Want to Save Money YouTube channel. I am setting up my budget for March. So before I start explaining anything I'm doing on these pages, I just want to kind of give you all a little summary of what my finances have looked like. So I faced a pretty hefty financial crisis over the summer of 2024, and I essentially did not do any monthly or paycheck budgeting for about 7 months, which sounds bad. It's not that I didn't care. It's nothing like that. It's just that I was so behind on everything that it truly became a matter of having to take it day by day. People kind of just use that phrase a lot. But yeah, when things are difficult and you're backed up against the wall, you kind of have to look at things day by day. Now that my head is above water, I can kind of move forward a little bit. So this is actually the first monthly budget I have set up in a long time. So it actually felt a little bit weird. So this is the Erin Conrden budget book. Just started using it. I do love it so far, but as you can see, this is the monthly layout, and you'll notice there's a calendar missing. They didn't put that on here. This is really a main criticism of this book that I think is actually pretty solid. So you have a place for important dates if you want to list it all on your bills. I really don't want to list everything out there, so I'll probably just use that for notes. The 3 circles at the top, most people tend to use that for goals that they have. You have a box for future purchases and future bills, and a box for savings goals. Now, it may seem a little bit odd, given the title of my YouTube channel, to put NA under savings goals, but I am focusing on getting back on track with debt for March, April, and probably all of May as well. I will really ramp up saving more when we hit June. So that's kind of the approach to that. It's not that saving does not matter to me. But the thing with credit is you never know when you're going to need it. I renewed my lease, and that's fine. But what if something happens and I need to suddenly find a new place to live? You never know when something like that's going to occur in your life. And I would not be able to find somewhere with what my credit looks like right now. So definitely something I want to tackle big time. I also have 2 car notes. That's kind of a long story, but that's also a big part as well because that completely wrecks my debt to income ratio. So that's why those things are a big deal for me. Now, once I get to the income section, my gig work goal for March is going to be $550. It was originally like $650. That was way too high. I will have plenty of time. I even have a vacation in March, and I'm probably going to dedicate a portion of that to gig work, which kind of stinks, but it's needed. It is what it is. I can't just relax all the time. I've been avoiding gig work or doing anything on the side to try to bring in extra money, but you have to do what you have to do. And the reality is I'm making a little bit less than what I need to. So I'm hoping that gig work money is going to really help me on this particular budget. But I'm also not solely relying on it. So if I don't reach that goal of $550, if I end up with $350 or $400, I should be able to make things work. And if something has to get moved to the next month, it's really not the end of the world for me. I will figure something out. I'm not in a great situation, but it's not nearly as bad as it's been the past 6-7 months. So I'm feeling pretty good about things. I do feel pretty good about the way I set up the budget for March. I do think I will be able to stick with it for the most part, which is really the most important thing, that once you go back and review, you're not going to find that you overspend in all your categories or you're in the red or whatever. So I do feel confident about this. The housing's pretty self-explanatory. There's my rent and utilities, which I pay together in one payment, and then my power is separate. Now my power for February was a bit higher than usual. It was $115, but I was running my heat all the time. Or actually, I think that was a bill for January. Normally, if I am not having to rely on heat or air all the time because of the extreme temperatures, it usually is in the $45 to $50 range. So I am budgeting $55 for power. I think I will stay within that. For food, I'm curious about how I'll be handling that going forward. So here's the thing. I've been trying to eat more at home, but I can't stand cooking every day. So I'm trying to kind of balance the groceries and eating out. I will likely be able to stick to the numbers I'm writing down here of $210 for groceries and $150 for eating out. Now, when you are backed up on your bills, I feel like eating out is one of those things people are like, you should definitely cut it. But for one thing, you're not saving all that much depending on what you're eating. You're only really saving by cooking at home if you're eating meals that are just processed crap, basically. There's probably a lot I could get into with the food category specifically, so I'm just going to leave it at that for now. But we will address that another day. So $125 for my first 2 credit cards and $175 for my third. Those are the payments that are going to get me caught up and back on track. So I'm actually excited to make those payments. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I'm actually looking forward to that. Because after that, things will start looking up again as far as the credit situation. And like I said, the thing with credit is you never know when you might find yourself in a situation where you need to use it. So that's actually a pretty big deal to me. So in the personal category, we have personal care, pets, household, shopping, and Amazon. Amazon, I will probably cut in April or May. There may be a few things I want to get for my staycation, so I want to hold on to that for now. The Nissan car note is $566. The insurance is $295. Vehicle maintenance, I am expecting to need an oil change, so I wanted to budget for that. And then down here for debt, I'll be paying off $256 of debt. That's a collections account. I'll be putting $250 toward the Jetta car note and then $100 to pay back my mom. And then for the miscellaneous, I just put movies and Netflix. Netflix, I will also be canceling. I'm not sure when. Honestly, I haven't been that thrilled with the selection on there lately. I think there's just one movie on my list that I actually want to see before I cancel it. So whenever I get around to that, I will cancel that subscription. And movies, every now and then I go to the movies with my mom, but that's not something I do every month. So that's not always going to be a line that I have in the category. And then, of course, for my staycation, I am budgeting $350. So if things do get just a little bit tight, I will cut pretty much anything else on here except the $350. I've really need this staycation. That $350 is going to be for me, and I don't feel